Okay. Well, just gonna be bullshitting and everything, and then we'll hope people die on
And this
the
will
way to.
be the official minicast episode 2. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh, check it out with special guest me.
Special guest, the guy that's on all the episodes. So special, so
I've
very
always wanted to
special.
be a special guest.
There you go. Now you
All
can
right.
pat yourself on the back. Right, on three, two, one.
And now, from the bowels of the internet, it's the Hate Bit Podcast.
You're listening to the Hate Bit Radio Network. Hey friends, Yell Chaos here, and we thank you for joining us. Today we had some scheduling conflicts, and being it's around the holiday time here, being around the holidays, especially here in the States, it's hard to get everybody together as regularly as we'd like. So it's time for another Hate Bit Minicast. And tonight featuring myself. Now, mind you, if you're listening during the day, you should listen at night because night is metal. But joining me as always, Alpha Omega Sin.
Howdy do times two. It's me, Alpha Omega Sin, and I don't like Cheerios because it's just cardboard but round.
But did you know that when you eat Cheerios, they spell out a message?
Ooh.
And the sadistic sated Magnus.
I'm not sure about sadistic. Maybe
Well,
sarcastic, stupid, sickly. Well, I've always said I'm ill-fated, so there we go. Kind of covers it.
yeah, there you go. But nobody else wanted to be with us today because they don't like us very much, and that's all right. That's not a big deal. We're coming towards the end of season 2. Can you guys believe that?
Oh, I know. It's fucking crazy.
It kind of flew by. I mean, so much has been going on and what have you and stuff.
Stuff and stuffing.
Mm. Speaking of
Love
stuffing,
stuffing things.
Speaking of stuffing, but yeah, we got a few things that are really on our mind, and we might get a little nostalgic. Who knows? We're just going to see where this one goes right here on the Hate Bit Minicast number 2.
yeah,
Uh,
number 2,
so
featuring Geo
anyway,
Chaos.
I know, isn't it? I'm a special guest. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, now you can pat yourself on the back. Have a
Yeah.
fucking
Now a lot of people listening right now are hoping that you'd got somebody else,
Oh, well, like,
but
like you mentioned, nobody fucking likes us, so who cares?
I know nobody likes it. Well, see, no one ever invites me to be a guest on their podcast. They invite everybody else. They don't invite me.
No.
They're scared of you.
No, I don't think that's it. I think it's because I say bad words.
They're worried that you're just gonna go off on a tangent. They're just like, we don't know how to stop them.
I know.
Runaway train, never look back.
uh,
You should be a professional.
you should, yes.
But anyway, as we get close, speaking of the holidays, there's something coming out in Canada only, and you probably know what it is: the Wii Mini. And Alpha Omega Sin said we had to talk about the Wii Mini, and I'm excited about the Wii Mini. I'm not sure if I'm going to get one just yet. I'm sure a lot of people are like, I know he's going to, but you know what I've decided, boys?
Go on.
What?
What
I've
did you say?
decided that the Wii Mini should be affectionately referred to as the Famo Wii.
The family. I like that.
I
I
think
think it's
that's
a better
nice.
name.
I
That
think so too, but no one in this country would get it because most people have never heard of the Famicom, outside of Japan.
Here's the thing: Wii Mini is like kind of a disparaging comment. It's just like, oh, look at that, your limp noodle. It's so sad looking. It's
Well, it's
so
like
mini.
it's a Wii
how
for
can it get
midgets.
any
Come on.
smaller?
It's a Wii for midgets.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I was wondering because the Wii itself is like the same size as like two DVDs stacked on top of each other. So to make it much smaller is just it's going to be like borderline non-existent, kind of like the portable CD players that everybody used to have back in 1998.
It do,
That's a lot what it looks like. And
it,
actually, you know what? It looks like the CD attachment for the TurboGrafx 16.
Oh, dude, I visually I can say this much: it's one of the coolest looking systems I've ever seen, ever, ever, ever. I mean, it's black and red. that right there is enough for me to be like, fuck yeah, it's got like a matte finish and everything on it. I just think it looks badass.
I'd love
Oh,
to
sure,
have
but you
that.
know what? Well, that shade of red is not an accident. That's a head nod. I know that.
That's a Mario red. You know, every
Well, that's actually the Famicom red. That slight, not quite burgundy, but a little of a burnt red look.
I'm looking at a
So it's
picture
kind of like
now,
spilled
it's-
blood bread.
it looks Mario,
I go along with that.
but there's no wrong with it. It looks, it's basically it looks fucking cute. It's a cute little console. Yeah, it does look like a 1980s CD player, but come on, it's pretty cool. You know, anybody?
I wonder if it has shock protection.
I don't.
Oh my god, dude! I remember being so fucking like I felt so cool when I had that because I was like, "Man, this is awesome! Look!" And I just take and I'd shake and I put the headphones up to somebody's face. I'm like, "Look, it's not even fucking skipping! Isn't that amazing?" And they're just like, "Wow, that's so cool!
Yeah.
Neat!
It
I
was
can
just that
hear
one of those
Pantera
features.
the entire time."
Yeah, like look, it has shock suppression. It's amazing. Did I tell you about my Sega Genesis with blast processing? That's amazing too.
Well, that's okay. If you want to really impress somebody, you go down the street with your Sega CDX, you bust that out of your gigantic fucking pockets, and you show it to somebody. And by the time you take it out of your pockets to show them, it's already fucking killed the batteries. So all they're doing is just going, "Wow, you're carrying around a console. That's weird, but cool."
Yeah. What's in your other pocket? An Atari Lynx?
No, we
No,
would
Sega
actually
game.
need a backpack for that. Atari Lynx is
You
a
need a
fucking
crane
beast.
and a jib for that.
Yeah.
No, but don't you think we should go over what's not on this Wii Mini, like WiiWare, for example?
That's true. I think that because there's no does it have no internet connectivity or is it just no Wi-Fi?
No
No,
internet connectivity whatsoever.
yeah, there's no internet
Really?
connectivity. There is no Wii, Wii or Virtual Consoleware sort of stuff. What else is there? There's no.
But it has a USB port on it, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't even have that. It doesn't even have an SD slot.
Well,
Like that takes
that's
up
you know
a lot
what
of
that's
space.
for. You know what that's for.
Oh no, soft modded.
That's to combat the funny business.
The funny business.
Well, see, the only downside to that now is because the only way that I would find all of this stuff lacking in the console to be acceptable is if they made the onboard storage a little bit beefier so that you could have more save files and everything on there.
Mm.
Because, I mean, overall, the Wii itself doesn't have that much on there, so it's nice to be able to have the SD card so you could put your save files on there and transfer them and everything. But as it stands right now, your save files are locked on there and they stay on there. They're never coming out of there. There's no GameCube ports on there, so you won't be able to have GameCube playback, which isn't too new considering the fact that the newest models of the Wii don't even have that anymore.
No, they took that out last year. Well, late last year when they brought out the nice blue color. It wasn't actually a bad blue color, to be fair.
Oh, I
It
know
was
which
like
one you're talking about.
it was like
yeah.
a Mega Man blue, sort of.
It actually was more like the midnight blue that actually graces the cases. Poet didn't know it.
Yeah,
The Wii U cases actually that shade of blue.
yeah, it looked pretty. I think it was more of a nod to the Wii U then, if that's what they were aiming for. But
It could be.
it does look like a nice system, and I won't mind owning one. But here's another thing: it's only exclusive in Canada.
I know.
Well,
Who do we know that's
for
Canadian?
now, though.
Nope.
That's just for now. If this thing takes off really well, I guarantee you'll see it pop up in other regions.
Oh,
I would like to see it show up, especially to see what could really be done with it. It'd be awesome to see one in straight up gray NES scheme.
Oh, that would be awesome. Just
Wouldn't
like
that be
a
amazing?
that would.
gray, black, and red. I'd be super happy.
Yeah, and then like the jewel, the status LED should be red.
Yeah.
See?
Well, there was somebody that did up. They did a mock-up of the Wii U, like the tablet controller and the console itself, in the same NES scheme. Gray,
Really?
black, and red, and everything. And just a quick Photoshop work, but it looked amazing. Like if they went and tossed it on the shelves, kind of similar to. Do you remember back when they had the limited edition Game Boy SP that looked like the NES?
Oh,
Yes, I do.
Okay, well, imagine it done up this same exact way. If they would put this out on store shelves, even if it was just for a couple months, they would be gone. Like gone completely off shelves and into gamers' hands, whether it's for collectors' values or just nostalgia, they'd be gone. So I think that's something that they may want to think about.
Well, it's also going to act as very much a collector's piece, and I think they know that. It also seems like it's an effort, and maybe this is just me thinking, but it's an effort to maybe alleviate the strain on some retail shelves with a lot of Wii U or Wii U, just ordinary Wii software. Maybe just to entice people, and plus the low price. It was like 99 Canadian dollars, I think.
Yeah, it's only a small price. It's like a Genesis 3 in a way, where it was made to a cost and they removed quite a lot of
Yeah.
things just to make it
Well,
smaller.
it's so funny to read the comments. Everyone's on all the different sites about the Wii Mini, and everyone's like, "Oh, it doesn't have this and it doesn't have that." It's like, but it's kitschy. If you don't like it, don't buy it.
I
I
think
don't.
the only reason people are complaining is because they want to like it, like
Mhm.
they want to see it have a bevy of features. So my only complaint is the price point. I personally think that it should come in at like $75. I think the $100 price point is pointless because for $20 more, you can get the regular Wii with all the features and 2 games.
Hmm.
So, $20, I get a whole ton more stuff. $20 less, you take away a whole shit ton of stuff.
True.
It to me, that's like the only factor I have going against it. It's kind of like the top loading Nintendo of the modern age now.
Yeah, well, very much so. I said something about that in one of my videos a little while back, and but that's not an uncommon thing. There's been a lot of miniaturized versions. Speaking of which, you're talking about the price point and how it's going to be kind of expensive. I could save us a lot of money right now. I have a plan. Would you like to hear it?
Go on then.
like
Okay.
What's your idea? Come on.
I can save us a lot of money right now. And if we have any Canadian fans that want to wish us a Merry Christmas, you can reach us at number 1 Hate Plaza, Los Angeles, California 90063. Preferably if you're in Canada. I know there's a young lady in Canada. I've talked to her once, and she's in Canada, and she feels like sending us a Canadian exclusive Wii. That'd be very nice.
We've had a Canadian as a guest on the show in season 1.
We did, and he didn't bring us shit.
I know. Johnny. Yeah,
Oh, you
we're
weren't
talking
supposed
to you.
say it. You were supposed to make everyone think that Afro Blue was Canadian. But anyway, the miniaturizing the console, shrinking them down is not a new thing, though.
No, they've done
Nah.
it for years, haven't they? Look at what
They're still doing it right now. I mean, PS3 Slim and PS3
yeah.
Slimmer.
the Super Slim. And
Well,
And-
you bring up the top loader NES, which was tied in together with the
top loader Famicom.
the AV Famicom, yeah. Which I don't know how they fucked up the top loader NES with that RF out only, which was crapola.
Yeah.
It was just pointless.
But I was under the impression, and I found out from few sources that there are actually, or there's apparently less than a dozen in existence of top loader NESs or NESs.
Nesai?
NESi, there you go.
It's like Genesee, Genesee.
But they do exist with the AV out, the one that you find on the back of your Super Nintendo, which I thought was pretty neat, and I'd love to get one.
Well,
But-
the only way that those things exist apparently is they actually were sent back to Nintendo, and then Nintendo had to send them back out.
Yeah, something
Apparently,
like that.
so there's like, it's not like these were manufactured purposefully that way. This
Oh,
was
yeah.
like some fuckabout way that that they had to come into existence. So that just makes it much more obscure. Though, if you're very handy, you could just make your own.
You can absolutely, but the thing that I found so funny was, that would be the one to have. However, a console that rare, you're not gonna fucking play that thing. That thing's gonna live the rest of its life in a box.
Yeah, I'd avoid it altogether. I'd just be like,
Yeah,
don't
you wouldn't even
walk in
want to
that
look at it.
corner
Like, if I look at it, it's gonna decrease its value.
But they've got a new miniature console coming out this week actually, and it's the excuse me, the Neo Geo Gold, the Neo Geo X Gold.
Well, I
is
guess
basically-
that's a sort of a miniaturized console. It's
and it's extreme miniaturization. Come on, it's
oh, well, sure. Well, I mean, when you're taking
Handheld.
all this big working moving parts and breaking it down into flash memory. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely an interesting concept, and you're really excited for that, aren't you?
I certainly am. So I will be
Well, what are you
picking up
most excited for? I mean, there's got to be a game that you said I'm going to play as soon as I buy this thing. What is it?
Fatal Fury Special.
Fatal Fury. Ooh, that's a good one.
hmm
That is a good one. Are there Metal Slug games on that one?
There's one or two Metal Slug games. I think Metal Slug 3 is going to be on there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
That's a good
you
one.
know, just a few. There's just a few really. There's not really that many games. There's 20 games that are coming on the damn thing, and just trying to quickly search for the post where it had them all listed.
As you
Uh,
saw right here on the Hate Bit Minicast, we're always prepared and have our sources at hand easily.
oh yes, thank you Facebook. Aha, here it is.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, I hate Facebook. There we go. Enter full screen. We have got 3 count bout, Fatal Fury, League Bowling, Puzzled, Alpha Mission 2. That's a game for you, Alpha. Uh, Fatal Fury Special, as I mentioned, Magician Lord, Real Bout, Fatal Fury Special, Art of Fighting, King of Fighters 95, Metal Slug 1, Samurai Showdown 2, Baseball Stars 2, King of the Monsters, Mutation Nation, Super Sidekicks, Cyber Up, Last Resort, NAM 1975, and one where I can't bloody see it because the picture's quality's crap. But if you've pre-ordered it, you get Ninja Masters on an SD card, so it's pretty cool.
Wow, that's quite a bit of stuff actually. And how much is that one going for?
I think it's about $200 in the US, £175 in the UK.
Interesting.
Well, there's I read recently that a lot of the places that are doing pre-orders for it are completely sold out.
Yep.
Like completely sold out. And that's like here in the States where I thought that it was going to end up not selling at all. And it literally was selling out. I don't know if the pre-orders were like very minimal in the amount that they were offering, but that's a good sign in general that there's like some kind of demand for it. And this is like still a very underground type thing. SNK isn't fucking like cream of the crop to the mainstream audience. That's one of those things they go, what? Oh, I don't know what the fuck Geo is that some fucking Star Trek shit? I don't get it. So yeah, that makes me happy that it could potentially have a future.
Well, I just like the fact that it's a Neo Geo that's actually more affordable. For people. You're getting 20 games out of the box. You're getting a Neo Geo system, and if you go for the top bollocks version, you get a mock charging station, which is a Neo Geo X station, as they called it, and it's basically looks like the old AES. And you also get the controller as well, a replica of the original controller, which is
dude, the
pretty
arcade stick, like it looks amazing. The cool thing about it is the fact that you plug the fucker into the system and HDMI out right into the TV. So you can play all this on your big TV screen with arcade sticks and everything, and that's pretty badass. And then unplug it, take it on the go. Which, granted, everybody's response could be, "Don't give a shit," because I could MAME it and PSP it. But it's if you want to have the real deal shit, the actual hardware and stuff for it. This is basically for that crowd. So it is. It's pretty nice. I don't know if I'll ever have the money to like toss around at it, but if I do, I'll be damn happy.
awesome. And also, if you want to be a purist and play on a CRT TV, it does actually have AV out as well. So
It does, doesn't it?
yeah, so pretty
Well,
cool. And
that sounds really neat. You know what? You know what we should do? We should all take some time out of our schedules in the coming weeks and just go to whatever store has these units and just grab fucking little kids like, come here! Tell your parents to buy this fucking thing! It will change your life!
I think I'm one of those. When I have a kid, I want to be able to say, right, here you go, play this. Give them an old Mega Drive or an old NES or something like that, and say, play that until you finished every game. They'll come out to be better gamers than what you turned out to be. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because now the goddamn games just hold their hand and wipe their ass and do everything for them.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, if you've been on a certain section for long enough, then you've got a helpful hint that pops up every now and again. Thanks.
That's true. That's true. Like for instance, even like the Mario games are doing that now.
Well, how hard is it to do a Mario?
Well, I guess they're not really doing that. What the reason I say that, I'm kind of setting you up, Mr. Omegason.
Mr. Omega.
Repeat that now? Wait, what?
Okay. Well, what I was trying to get at, I was trying to lay one point to get to get a bridge to another point. When you play Mario, how long has it been since you played a Mario?
Not that long ago. Actually, it's been only a couple days.
What did you play?
I was playing through Super Mario 2.
All right. Have you played any of the new Super Mario games recently?
Like the newest ones on Wii U and stuff like that?
Or well, I mean like the one on the Nintendo DS.
No, I haven't gotten a chance to play them. I want to. I just haven't been able to. I
I
don't
say
even
that's
know
a-
anybody that has them. It's kind
Oh,
of sad.
that's a bummer because I was saying, and I want to stress this to all the Nintendo fans listening. Does it offend you? Please let us know in the comment section down below. Doesn't it offend you when the green box shows up and says, "Would you like to see Luigi's?" No, leave me alone. You're telling me I suck. Go away. I just thought I'd get that off my chest there.
Yeah, there is one thing. I actually want to toss this out there. I was reading this. Anybody who goes onto the site Reddit, you have probably come across at least one article in your fucking time of going and scrolling through shit that made you want to go and punch a baby in its fucking face, or punch somebody with a baby that you punched in the face and it got stuck. Well, I was reading and I came across this article. This kid who is 14 goes onto Reddit and he asks for advice as to how he can talk to his dad and respond to him because his dad is always pestering him to play Nintendo games with him. This is NES and SNES era games. He's like, my dad's always bothered me to play these games. I have no interest in them. They're really childish and stupid, and they're really just dumb. I like modern games. I like mature games. I like playing Skyrim and I like playing Call of Duty. I don't understand why he wants me to play all this dumb, boring stuff. It's really stupid and nobody likes it anymore. I have never felt such contempt for somebody through the fucking internet for that age bracket. I wanted to shove every fucking random kitchen appliance I had right through his fucking skull. Because reading it, I was like, do you realize how many people would kill to have a fucking parent that had any interest whatsoever in video games?
In them,
Yeah,
even?
yeah. There parents that actually give a shit about you actually are interested in something that you're interested in, and you're bitching that they want you to play something that they like. I just like reading it. It's kind of like it makes me sad because I know a lot of kids that are into really cool games, but the thing is they get lumped in with those other like kids like this modern gen fucking gamer that is nothing but a little zit farm fuck that needs to be fucking stomped and snuffed out completely. Sorry for like the fucking mid random rant, but it just came to mind and I was like, I hate them so much. I just
true.
stab.
No,
Well, you run into that stuff a lot these days, and you really just want to shake them. As like, hey, somebody wants to spend time with you. Because right now you sound to me like a little shit-eating pissant weasel, and I can't stand why anyone would want to spend any time with you. So I'd take all the FaceTime you get with Pops. I'd take it as much as you can.
Yeah, and keep in mind, folks, this isn't something like, oh, Alpha's just mad because he was talking shit on, like, retro game. No, this goes beyond that. It's something like, you have, like, a pretty cool-sounding dad, and you're kind of just not only giving him the finger, but you're being a dick by going online and trying to, like, talk down
Rally
about...
support.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I started reading through the comments and shit, and people were literally, like, reacting pretty much exactly like we are right now. Just, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're a little dickhead. And every time that he responded, I just felt my fist clench harder and harder, like nails digging into my fucking palm. And it's just
being
like...
more of a shitheel about it.
Oh, dude, it like every single time he like got defensive, it was like, oh yeah, fuck you, and like half the stuff they'd say was just stupid. Like, how do you think like this? I swear, if it wasn't a fucking troll, It's like you're quite possibly the worst teenager alive, besides like Justin Bieber fans. Worst teenager alive. The end.
Well, that's the thing. I grew up with video games, and the only thing my dad did for me regarding video games was fucking buy them. That's all he ever did.
Yeah.
The person that played video games with me was my mother.
Yeah, dude, and you want to know what? How many of us, like, as gamers now, even if you only play them every so often, but I mean, if you're a dedicated gamer now, and if you aren't, I have no clue why you're listening. But the thing is, how many of us have had like fond memories just looking back, like, man, it was so awesome. Even if it was only a couple times that your parents had played games with you, you look back on it as like a really fond memory, and it helped mold you. It made you happy. It's still something that you can bring up, and it's like that is fucking great. I'm so glad that happened. And this dude is fucking complaining about it and is like pissed off about it. And his example, Skyrim and fucking Call of Duty, get bent, kid, get bent in half.
See, these kids don't know what it was like, man. I can remember. I'm gonna really give away how old I am right now because I remember back in the 19 and
1902.
shh. Anyway, playing games with my dad, and I knew a secret, and I don't know if you guys had this same, relationship with your father, but I knew a secret. I knew I could sit up here and play this game. This was like at like 10:30, 11 o'clock, which was late, when I was a young kid. And I could sit here and play this game all the way until I beat my pops. As soon as I beat him, I had to go to bed. I remember I beat my dad's ass at ice hockey one time. I was like, that's it! Go to bed! And we went to bed. And then a few nights later, we were playing ice hockey again, and I lost. And he says, you want to go again? And we played again. And we played again. And we played. And then he's like, looks at the clock. He's like, oh, it's 11:30. You want to go to bed? I go, one more. He goes, all right.
And
As long as I continue to lose, I could stay up and play games all night long.
That's pretty funny.
It's
That's
I mean,
cool.
that right there, that's a good example. It's a nice fucking memory.
I know. See, we're getting so sentimental right here on the Hate Bit podcast, and
Hey,
I don't think we get enough credit for being.
Minicast, you forgot.
Oh, I know, but even in general, we're good people. Not that you can notice.
Sometimes, yes.
Not so much that you'd notice, but that's not the point.
Well,
when we're not fucking digging up graves and raping the fucking elderly and the dead and everything, and saying things to piss off everyone.
Not to mention saying disparaging things about minorities and homosexuals and so on. But at the end of the day, you have to realize, my mom, she loves me.
Yeah.
Probably against her own better judgment, but that's not the issue. The point is, if you got someone that wants to spend time with you, get the fuck off the internet. Go hang out with your dad. Have a good time. Because I know we got some young guys listening to the show and some young gals. I'm not leaving them out either. We got a lot of really cool people who listen to our show every single week. And I just want to say to those people, you got, your family's not going to be around forever. I know it's a worn-out cliche, but especially around this time of year. Spend some time, and if you got some Nintendo games, whip some ass.
Yeah, but I've got a good bedtime memory. I was playing a game called Mousetrap on Commodore 64, and this is like, 1992. And I just played this game, and it was only an 8-level game, but once you get past level 4, it started getting brutally hard. So I was 8 years old, and I'm playing this game, and I was like, I just got to level 7, and I was literally one level off from finishing the game. And my dad says, right, bedtime. But then my mum comes over, and she saw I was on level 7, and she says, right, you can stay up until you die or you finish the game. And I thought, right, I've got to either do well or start again and pretend I've kept going. In the end, I finished it, and they says, right, off to bed. I went, oh. It was like 11 o'clock at the time. Oh, it's not fair. But so from then on, I just kept playing games well to stay up later.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. See, but you played one-player games. My dad forced us into. My dad intentionally bought sports games so we'd be in direct competition. He was one of those kind of guys.
Oh. Although I do have a pet hate for football games, but that's not my dad's fault. It was my uncle's fault actually, because he used to buy football games every bloody Christmas. It was like, I got shown another FIFA game. Oh, great, thank you.
I want to bring this up right now. We've never really had a sensible discussion about this on the show usually, and since we're kind of in a more casual setting, I wonder. There's so much, especially in our community, the online gaming community. Everyone claims to hate sports games, and then there's like a few people. I won't name names. Okay, I will name names. Old School Brian, if you know Old School Brian on YouTube, he brings up the fact that he does like certain sports games, and it's almost like people are embarrassed to admit that it's like saying you like the Barbie games. It's like, oh, I don't want to admit to that. Or there's nothing wrong with admitting to it. There are some damn fine sports games. It's just really a matter of who made the game and if they cared.
Yeah.
I will say for me, I'll get the ball rolling. For me, I'll say I don't really care for sports simulation games. Your Maddens. Madden was cool in its early iterations because it was barely a game. So you still had to kind of use your imagination a little bit, and then as technology kind of caught up, it's mostly like you're just interacting with a game that's going on television.
Yeah, that's true.
And like Saint Magnus, do you have this feeling? Do you enjoy any of the sports games, any at all? And I'll even include sports auto racing.
I enjoy the F1 games made by Codemasters. They're pretty good, and well, to be quite fair, any Codemaster racing game, because they do some really good ones like the Tocker
They
Race
do.
series.
They do.
They also do they do the Grid series, which the Grid is getting a sequel. Yay! After how many years? um, I think the WRC games that are made by Evolution, they're really good as well. Because I've always liked rally cars. Just the whole concept of driving through a countryside at stupid a mile an hour, and the crashes are fantastic as well.
Really?
Yeah, and
Better than the early Sega rally games, right?
oh yeah, well on the Sega rally games you just bounce from either side of the.
Yeah. Well, you don't really bounce. You just kind of like stop.
I know.
You just kind of driving and then you stop.
Oh no, it's funny. Yeah, but definitely, if you're into racing games and you're American, go for the NASCAR games. Surprisingly, they're actually quite hard to play.
Some of them are, especially some of them on the PC are fucking ridiculous.
Oh no.
I don't know who these people are that have this kind of patience because I've never understood like NASCAR games on the PC because NASCAR fans can't operate computers. I don't know if you knew that or not. So we may have to give Codemasters a call and say, who are you making? I think they're just making them for Mark from Classic Game Room, just so he has something to work with.
Dude,
Yeah.
on you want to know what I like about there's one thing I like about NASCAR since you know how a lot of people use the whole America making fun of the
All
whole,
ass, turn left.
well there's I noticed that there's a large amount of Dale Earnhardt memorabilia that's overly patriotic. So they'll have like an American flag in the background, an American bald eagle, Dale Earnhardt, some bears, some wolves on a mountain howling, and an Indian with one tear, some waterfalls, the Grand Canyon, and it's like they'll have shit like this everywhere. I don't fucking get it. If you ever get bored and you're out and about, just look for random Dale Earnhardt start. I'm not talking like the official NASCAR shit. I'm talking like the thrown together aftermarket, what the fuck were they thinking stuff. Like they put this stuff on dishes. They put it inside of a grandfather clock. They have silverware. They're like, oh, Dale Earnhardt toilet paper. I reckon that I will wipe my ass with the legend himself. I feel really good with him on my cornhole. It's like, no, this is all bad. I don't understand why it happens this way. But yeah, NASCAR.
I don't understand how that really happened to like Dale Earnhardt. Like I remember seeing the accident and I didn't believe he died. I'm like, oh, okay. But then before you knew it, they like changed the pecking order of the universe and went God, Jesus, the Holy Ghost, Dale Earnhardt. and then various other people after that. I'm like, one of these days they're gonna come out with like news and find out like remember when you probably don't remember this, but way back when, our older viewers will know this, that after J. Edgar Hoover, the director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, died, they found out that he was a transvestite and found out all that stuff about him, and apparently he wore panties to stakeouts and things like that. They're gonna find out that like Dale Earnhardt was like a card-carrying communist or something, and something like that. I don't know. I just it was just on my mind. Well, how did Dale Earnhardt get so high up?
I'd
It's
like to
John
think that
Lennon.
he technically took the place of Elvis for a lot of people.
It's like
You
John
know what?
Lennon
It seems like he's got his face on more dishes than Elvis.
Oh, no doubt, man. Well, think about the audience that it's catering to.
I think they just make
Just be people
everybody.
that enjoy paper
Yeah.
plates.
I was just going to say they just seem to put everybody on this pedestal. It's like over here for years, everybody thought, "Oh, Jimmy Savile, he's fantastic. Yeah, yeah, yeah," and now you find out he was a dirty fucking local paedophile, and nobody likes him anymore.
Well, yeah. I mean, imagine all the shit they're gonna find out when you die.
They're not going to find anything out about me. I'll
that's,
just
that's right.
fade
Because
away.
Saint Magnus burns all of his receipts, and anybody he's ever met, I don't know. What do you do with
Curse.
those people? You put a curse on them?
I put a curse on them. If you
Aw,
piss me off in life, you're dead.
he borrowed the curse from Def Leppard.
God damn it.
But anyway, hey, everyone keeps talking about the Killer Instinct trademark rejection. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I heard about that. What's the
Alpha Omega Sin,
deal?
did you hear anything about? Well, you actually, I shouldn't lie. You're the one that threw this article in front of my face here, and
Indeed.
something about people are making a big deal over essentially nothing.
Well, it's nothing and it's something. It's only something because this means that Microsoft is acknowledging the existence of Killer Instinct and wants to have the name basically around for a reason, whether it's just to keep it under file with them and everything, or whatever the case may be. But there was rumors for a long time that Rare wanted to go and make another Killer Instinct. Then it turned out that after a couple of ex-Rare employees left, they said, yeah, we did try making Killer Instinct 3 officially multiple times, and Microsoft shot down the idea because it wasn't in their interest. They didn't see any point in making a fighting game because that's not the angle that they want to go with. So they cracked the whips a couple times, and then Rare went off to make Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts and a bunch of Avatar items, because that seems like a much better idea than a Killer Instinct 3. Notice the sarcasm that we're all drowning in. Sorry about that. There's no life preservers, folks. But
That's why I didn't say anything. I was drowning.
but yeah, basically,
already drowned.
they filed to get this. Basically to get the copyright back, and turns out that Fox had a show called Killer Instinct like back in the 90s, and for some reason this is
2005, actually.
was it?
Yeah, 2005.
Oh goodness, okay. Well,
Well, that
my
might as well
mistake.
be that might as well be the 90s.
But basically there's an issue with that. Now, that doesn't mean a whole lot because that show's been dead for a while. Copyrights have been rejected and have been tossed back into the ring again just to go through. We don't really know what it is because there isn't an official word from Microsoft nor from Rare, and both parties probably won't say anything. But I can say this much: if there is even the slightest fucking chance that we could get a Killer Instinct 3, and with Microsoft making a new console, if they premiered a new console with a Killer Instinct game, holy mother of balls, you would immediately have a bunch of people fucking foaming at the mouth just based off that alone. So yeah, I want to see Fulgor and Glacius again.
Do you believe that though?
To a certain degree, I do, because let's face it,
Because
Microsoft
I'm sure that would be
needs some
huge amongst
first-party
our
games.
circle of friends and everything. But do you really think that would just be boom?
Considering the fact that Killer Instinct is okay on Nintendo 64, it was a big deal. On Super Nintendo, it's a big deal, and fighting games right now are actually doing really well. The genre seemed like it was kind of dying off last generation. This generation, bam, you got fighting games out the fucking ass, and everybody's playing them. Online multiplayer is a big deal, and if you have Microsoft putting their full support behind a first-party fighting game with name recognition that's able to stir up not only the nostalgia factor, but bring in a new audience of combo fucking, frenzied people and whatnot, and up the gore factor, add in more characters and stuff, and give it the fucking proper respect it deserves, then yeah, I think it could do very well.
Well, they did it in a way with MK, so why can't they do it with Killer Instinct?
That's actually
that's
a good
what
example.
I mean. I don't feel, and maybe I'm just completely missing the point here, but I really don't think that Mortal Kombat has the market penetration it once did.
No, it doesn't.
Well,
I mean,
it's
I
also
really feel like people are like
different
turning
market.
their backs on fighting games in a way, because aren't sales on those games really down?
Well, they're not overly successful. That's mainly because
Well, it almost seems like
quality.
when they come out, whoever's developing them doesn't give a shit.
Well, Capcom is not giving a shit for years.
Exactly, and they're one of the principal examples. And from what I understand, Tekken has been, Tekken for me started to suck around Tekken 4, and now what are we at, like Tekken 17 now?
Tekken Tag 2's just recently come out.
Yeah, and I understand it's not very good.
It's not great, but it's not the best.
See, but that's not. I know you're doing your best and everything, but that's not a defense.
No. It's like I bought Soul Calibur 5 this year. Soul Calibur 5 is one of my favorite. Well, Soul Calibur in general is one of my favorite beat 'em ups, and I didn't enjoy 5. I found myself going back to Soul Calibur 4 or even Soul Calibur 2.
Oh, Soul Calibur 2 was a beast.
Soul Calibur 2 was perfect.
Soul Calibur
I
2 was my favorite.
I don't know. I say Soul Calibur 3 is pretty much the best thing that they put out of the entire franchise.
Mm,
I like 2. I thought it was pretty good, but I just thought 3 was it pretty much fixed all the issues I had with part 2.
yeah.
And considering the fact that my favorite character is Raphael, I honestly thought he was kind of meh in the second game, which is where he premiered. But in the third game, he's a fucking monster in that. And if you got the GameCube version of Part 2, Link is such a cheap motherfucker. Like, he's the most overpowered character that they put in the franchise.
I would say
in a very
that's
long time.
why I do kind of skew towards that game. I'll be perfectly honest with you.
Well, I mean, he fit in.
How does an
very
elf come
well.
and just fuck everybody up? I don't understand.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you why. Because all that fucking long range bullshit that he has. He's just like, yeah, let's throw some bombs out there, and then let me fucking air juggle you with the fucking bow and arrow, and then, God forbid, if the person somehow manages to like get in there and start fucking like sword swinging on you, no, you're watch your fucking health bar go to nothing real quick. It's terrible. I've seen so many cheap people just eat you alive with him, and it's not fair. But then again, that's just their unbalanced gameplay at work.
Yeah. Soul Calibur 1 on the Dreamcast was probably my favorite anyway, but Soul Calibur
That
2
one's
was
sexy.
fun.
It's a great game, but that Dreamcast controller is not a fighting game controller.
Not by any stretch of the
Not
imagination.
by a long shot. However, now I never had the arcade stick for it, so it was probably amazing on the arcade stick.
Yeah, they called the arcade stick the Green Goblin or something because it was just green and grey.
It's beautiful. It's so tacky. It's beautiful.
Oh no, I want one, but I can't find one for a decent price.
Oh,
I like a lot, but I don't know. I have that issue with those really small arcade sticks. I need like a bigger arcade stick. Like the actual stick itself has to be taller.
Try getting the Sega Saturn one. Fucking hell, that's huge. That's like having a paving slab slapped on your lap.
I don't know. I like it. I just don't like the concave buttons on it. I don't know. I prefer when they're bubbled. They're easier for me to hit for some reason.
Oh, really?
That's just for if I had a preference, which is kind of weird considering the fact most of the time most of the buttons are kind of concave, but the Sega Saturn one, it's like they're very deep.
Hmm.
Yeah, at least by comparison to the regular buttons.
How deep?
Too deep for
Horizon deep.
my preference, but it's I don't know, that's just me. I still say overall I need a fucking controller in my hand. I used to be able to rock an arcade stick really well when I was younger, but I've consoleized myself to the point I suck with them now.
I'd like to get into them, to be fair.
That's the thing for me. The fighting games on a ordinary controller, I blow. But if I get on an actual arcade stick, I can fare a little bit better.
Awesome.
Maybe that's just me.
No, nice. Everybody's got their own preference. It's like with the Sega Saturn joypad. I like the Model 1 to the Model 2. And the only reason
For fighting games, you mean?
for fighting games, yeah, because I can, because with it being a 6-button controller, it feels more comfortable. And because I kind of
Well,
came accustomed to Street Fighter, with the 6-button layout, which is
but the Model 1, I have to say the Model 1 Saturn controller was a much better quality than the Model 2.
Oh yeah.
The Model 2, I mean, it's solid, but it feels like it's just made out of trash.
Mm. It does feel a
I
bit.
don't know why, but I just imagine like a big pile of garbage and somebody's just pressing her thumb into it. And, like, this isn't a controller.
This doesn't work at all.
I'm playing
Why
with a
does my thumb
diaper.
smell like an apple core?
Okay, how about this? We have a fucking a used diaper filled with Indian food and apple cores, and that's the controller.
Yummy.
There you go.
Yummy.
Somebody had to have caught the fucking Anchorman reference there. I
I
hope.
know, no kidding, right? It smells like pure gasoline.
I can't wait for the second movie. I don't care if it's not as good. I need it.
Well, there already is a second movie.
Well, in production.
No. I mean that. But then there's the DVD has the was it Good Morning Ron Burgundy or something like that?
I
Which is,
honestly don't. Wait, is there like a director's cut of it?
yeah, the director's cut on the DVD, as far as I know, has. I saw it at a friend's house, and they made from all the outtakes and alternate takes. They made a whole new movie.
Oh yeah, well they fucking ad-libbed so much of that movie. It was disturbing. I that's one of the things I liked about it was, I mean, they obviously have like the base script and everything, but as comedians, they're just like, you know what, just fucking run with it, say random things, and they did, and it was fucking fantastic.
Fantastic. Yeah, I agree. I saw that film 2 years ago, and it was fantastic then. So.
Fantastic.
It's really achieved like Big Lebowski status as far as a following. It's
Dude,
quite.
The first time I saw it, I mean, to this day, it's the funniest comedy movie I've ever seen. Like, I
Really?
swear by it.
The funniest?
For me personally, it is like the funniest movie. I say that based off of one major reason, and that's because I laugh at it every single time. Even the jokes that I've heard time and again, I've quoted the living shit out of it, and it still gets a chuckle out of me. I cannot beat that fucking dead horse enough. It's just
I'll go along with it. I mean, it is a very humorous movie. I still refer to it every single day as Yes Flute. What are you listening to? Listen to Yes Flute.
Oh.
Mr. Omegason, would you play us some Yes Flute?
I would like to. Oh God, what the fuck was the thing that he was playing inside the bar?
Can't remember.
Well, what? Playing inside the bar?
Yeah, remember whenever he took Christina Applegate into the bar?
Yeah, that was Yes Flute.
No, I thought that he played something else. Damn, I'm really fucking off.
He played a flute.
I'm
referring
thinking
to the song Aqualung.
I'm probably mixing shit up in my head. I apologize, folks. All timers.
I say, wow, man,
He's going
crazy. Oh, the colors.
Oh no, I'm not tripping. Not tripping balls. Tripping balls, man. Tripping balls.
Well, fuck, man. You and I are just not on the same page today.
Milk was a bad choice today.
I'm so hot.
That'd be, I wonder.
And we were actually talking about milk earlier. And Yell Chaos hates milk, by the way. He hates. It makes him sick. He just wants to punch the milkman right in his fucking face.
Actually, I want to punch the milk.
Yeah, he wants to punch the milk into the milkman's face.
Yeah. I mean no harm to cows at all. However, I would punch the fuck out of some milk. I'm not opposed to milk. I just don't. Don't you bring me into this. You're the one that drinks the white motor oil, okay?
Yeah, I see. I prefer whole milk, and I call it real milk. Whereas people are like, I'll drink 1% and 2%. I'm like, so basically, you drink white water. That sounds cool.
Basically, they're a faggot.
I'm just,
I don't get that shit. It's like, well, I'm dieting, and it's like, get the fuck out of here.
I'm just
Okay.
not. Oh, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say something about soy milk, like something soy milk. There we go.
Well, I drink soy milk.
Oh, see, oh look, we got a dieter in the house. Dieter in the house.
No, I'm not a dieter. I just, I think it's because, well, my thing really is because soy milk lasts so much longer.
Does it really?
It does. There's nothing in it to spoil.
Huh.
True.
Yeah, well, if you don't open a carton of soy, this is really compelling conversation, isn't it? If you open a carton of soy milk, or if you leave it unopened, it'll, I think, stay for like 4 or 5 months.
That's disturbing.
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing in it, like I said, there's nothing in it to spoil.
Okay, well here, how about this? I'll go and raise you. I've drank 2 entire things of chocolate milk that was spoiled, and the entire time I just kept going, this tastes weird. And then I go to find out, oh, I bought expired chocolate milk. Huh.
Huh.
Well then.
Well, I do have one piece of good news for you.
What?
If you ever sucked a cock and got a bunch of it in the back of your throat, you would not be phased in the slightest.
Well, golly jeepers. At least I have stuff to look forward to. Fucking ding dong in the jaw.
I know. Well, that's the best advice I can give to young ladies when they want to how to get used to it. Whole milk.
And also, young ladies.
And do the wash. That way you'll get used to the bleach smell.
Well, if any young ladies out there want to really go and make the Hate Bit podcast happy, I mean, sending us, Wii Mini is pretty cool and everything, but I assure you 100% blowjobs are right up there. I'm more than happy to go and receive a blowjob, especially if I'm in the midst of playing Double Dragon Neon or some other random beat 'em up that I'm all into.
Well, now you got your posh TV, you can play Double Dragon Neo in 3D.
I could. I could
You could play any beat 'em up for that matter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, did you hear about the leak, the Ruffian Streets of Rage? You hear about this?
I did.
Ooh.
That's do you think they'll be able to find it on YouTube if they search?
That's one of the things. I actually forgot to do that to see if somebody had already put it on there. More than likely, it is.
It probably is. In fact, let me see if I can. If I can find it, I'll make sure that the Mr. Magnus puts a link to it so you can see. But
If I must.
if yes, I appreciate it if you find the time. If not, he'll of course edit this out of the podcast. So there you are. Yes, you can find it. Who has it? YouTube user. I'm not even going to give away the YouTube username. Fuck that shit. He ain't getting any free press around here. But it is available on YouTube. Check it out. I don't know. It looks interesting.
Well, don't forget, it's like a pre-alpha stage anyway.
Exactly. I don't want to cast any judgment on it. It looks a lot like if Grand Theft Auto had some more color.
I don't know. I thought it looked pretty damn amazing. Keep in mind, this is made by the Crackdown team, so they're used to making over-the-top style games.
Yeah.
And this, I thought it was kind of weird at first, until I honestly sat there thinking about it, because I enjoyed the Crackdown games. Open world game where you're like a super powered cop, okay. But you can be an asshole cop. That's even better, except for you're not beating the shit out of people who have drugs and then doing the drugs in front of them. That's the only part that doesn't actually fit well. But Streets of Rage, it's weird. Was it on the one recent Sega video I had done? Somebody had mentioned Streets of Rage, and then I was just like, I would fucking kill to have a Streets of Rage 4. And we sort of, kind of, almost do, because apparently Fighting Force originally was going to be conceived as Streets of Rage 4. But then shit didn't go well, so they kept making the game, changed a bunch of shit, and then it came out as Fighting Force. But this, I would love to see happen. I love beat 'em ups. I would just like to see this really happen, because Streets of Rage is amazing, and if this happens, then fuck it. Let's get another Comic Zone going, and another Vector Man. Yeah, that stuff. But yes, Streets of Rage. Oh my god.
We need a Streets of Rage.
And they're using the original logo. Magnus he was just like, yeah, the original logo. And I was like, yes, that is pretty fucking sweet.
Yeah, and then I was saying, come on, they need to have a better knuckle machine. If it's not going to be a good game, if it's not got the better knuckle machine. And lo and behold, it did.
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
about.
I mean, honestly, it looks pretty damn good. I just, what I want to see is like the dude in the half leather fucking trench coat with the pink mohawk and everything, and he moves like he's trying to keep a shit in when he's coming after you. That's what I want to see, and I want to see the fucking bikers with the football shoulder pads and a motorcycle helmet with like the spikes or feathers coming out and everything, and they're not wearing a shirt for whatever reason. Because damn it, you got to see them abs. I want the guys in jetpacks flying around and shit for no reason. Because when you have a street gang, you go up and beyond the stuff that you see in something like the Warriors. You get fucking you get crafty. You get motorcycles and jetpacks, and you really fuck with people.
And speaking of warriors, don't forget the Ultimate Warrior. He was in there somewhere.
Yeah, the fucking Ultimate Warrior. Literally jump your ass straight into a fucking wrestling ring that's like 90 fucking yards in length and just go absolutely bonkers. You got fat dudes fucking blowing fire out of their mouth every time they run at you, and they always seem to knock you down no matter what because they're assholes like that.
They were fucking steamrollers, them. And one was called Big Ben.
I hated them. I was just like, you butterball duo motherfuckers, you can get the fucking hell out of here. But I like this, and I like the fact that apparently in the world of Streets of Rage, police look like the characters in Streets of Rage. That's fucking awesome. Like, all police should run around dressed just like that, because I'd be like, you know what, I want to be a police officer. I want to go kick ass. I want to be an old guy with fucking robot arms and shit, and a fucking like little kid on rollerblades constantly doing random fucking head spins and shit and messing everybody up. This is all fantastic. Fantastic.
Fantastic.
And everybody wanted to press the A button, and then a police car shows up with a bazooka, killing everything but you.
Yeah.
I fucking what I loved about it though was you fucking call that shit in, and then the camera pans over to you, and all the enemies are just running back and forth and like going, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, here it comes, here it comes, here it comes, fuck, and they get blown up. It's like, dude, didn't you ever just think like, I want to duck and cover or maybe leave? They're like, no, just keep running back and forth, get retarded.
Well, I don't know. How many times a day do you get shot at with a missile? Because I know I'd probably be in shock for at least a second.
Man, with the amount of time that missile took to fucking get there.
I know, right?
That's like with Power Rangers, whenever they're fucking turning into the Zord. Why didn't you just whoop their ass in the middle of changing? Because they just decided not to. But
I know. And who shoots a missile at an arc? What missiles work that way, where they go, pew!
Well, apparently a police force that hires motherfuckers like this. Like the one bitch looked like
that drives a BMW too. What the fuck is with that?
Yeah, but
I thought it looked like a Ferrari personally.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought. Well, maybe I'm wrong, or I haven't seen it in a while. But I remember it looking a lot like a BMW.
You know what? Maybe they got BMWs, Ferraris. Just for shits and giggles when they want to fuck with people, it rolls in like a Volkswagen Beetle. You know. Like a PT Cruiser to piss people off because they're like, I can't believe I got blew up by that fucking thing. Really? Really?
And don't forget, the Play 2, they had the Gatling gun, for fuck's sake.
Dude, oh my god, just like thinking about all this stuff, it's like, look, what I want to do is I want a bunch of nameless fucking people with stupid, like, random ass names like Blade and fucking Razor and shit to fucking come up to me, and it's like, all right, get Buck over here. All right, Buck's gonna come after me, and get some River City Ransom names in there too, and I want them to all go barf as soon as they fucking get taken down and whatnot. And it's just, I want the stuff to happen, then I want to go over to a phone booth, I want to punch the shit out of it, pick up an apple, eat it, feel better, because that's what you do, because there's really phone booths nowadays, and when you find them, you obviously eat the food inside. Like, I want this so bad, folks. I want the Streets of Rage music, because it had bitchin' music in it. The game looks cool. Look up the footage for it, folks, seriously, and support this idea. Hopefully it's gonna happen, because I'm stroking my fucking beat 'em up boner right now, and there's some jokes to be had with beat 'em up. So yeah,
I know. See, well, yeah, he's
beating his beat
beating
'em up.
like an owes you money, aren't you? Yes. Well, while That's a beat 'em up boner. That's different from a nostalgia erection, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's different here
Okay,
and there.
but the same.
Yeah, but, there's one thing that we have to say about Streets of Rage in general.
What's that?
Rue was a stupid fucking character.
Yeah,
Yes.
well,
Yes. No, it's just as stupid as when they had a fucking kangaroo show up in fucking Tekken.
Oh, God.
Oh, I'm sorry, a fucking kangaroo slash raptor.
Rue.
I'm sorry, kangaroo video games. It just doesn't work.
No.
Even that Atari game is only, menial.
Somebody's gonna be desperate to fucking like claw their way through like all the video games in the world to find that one instance where a kangaroo was really badass and be like, "Told you, there's at least one."
You know what? I fucking hope that. I hope there is somebody who is gonna say, "But yell chaos," and they'll throw up a link in the comment section of some instance where a kangaroo was fucking amazing in some video game way back. You know what? If somebody has that information, excuse me, please drop it down below in the space provided. We'd really appreciate it. I know I would anyway.
No, you would.
I'm one of those kooky, crazy kind of guys.
We didn't even know you were a guy. We thought you was a
Hey,
thing.
hey, Alf. You and I were having a discussion. Sometime between now and our last podcast,
we were talking at some point.
we were talking. We were conversating and what have you.
Exchanging words and shit.
And we were just having a discussion at length. And you know what I was saying? Don't you hate it when people say they're comic book fans, but they're really just fans of the comic book movies? Don't you run into those people?
Yeah.
Yes, and every single time I want them to die. I want them to die in the worst possible conceivable fashion because you cannot tell me for one fucking reason you're like, oh man, I'm the biggest fan of comic books. And I'm like, oh yeah, and they're like, oh yeah, I love Batman, I love Spider-Man, I love X-Men, I love the Avengers. I'm like, oh yeah, well tell me about some of your favorite comic books. And I'm like, oh well, I'm really like the Dark Knight Rises. I'm like, that's a movie. They're like, yeah, I'm a big comic book fan. I'm like, that's a movie. So you're a big fan of comic book based movies? They're like, no, comic books, and you just can't strangle them hard enough. That's the problem.
Yeah, because they really love like Batman Begins on Blu-ray.
Yes, on Blu-ray. Everything should be on Blu-ray. Everything should fucking die on Blu-ray.
I hope
should it
I hope
die?
people like that die on Blu-ray.
I hope people die like that on DVD so then everybody can see it.
I hope people die on Betamax because it's superior to VHS.
I hope people die on Laserdisc just because it's so huge.
And collectible.
And it looks a lot nicer than DVD, ironically.
You could kill somebody with it too.
Yeah.
Well, I hope people die on UMD just so it has something to be used for.
I hope it dies on PlayStation Vita. That way there's something on that.
We would have something to see on the fucking Vita. That would be fantastic.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. And you know what? I'll bet all those suckers who bought a PlayStation Vita can't wait either.
And well, they'll be
hope.
excited, but like, oh man, there's something dying on there besides, just the system in general. This is fucking fantastic. But you know what? I say that if anything, it ought to die on a Hue card, just like on the fucking TurboGrafx. That'd be sweet.
Right?
I
Or
hope-
the
I hope they die on an NES cart because there's nothing like dying on 8-bit.
Now, would that be a reproduction cart nowadays? Or are we getting some newfangled fucking technology going here?
I think we should make some newfangled technology. 8-bit cartridges.
8-bit cartridges? Yeah, exactly. They will be exactly 0.95 megabytes, and they will be $8,000.
Well, here, how about this? Speaking of $8,000, I hope that they die on a Vita memory card since that's how much it fucking costs to go and buy one.
Fucking ridiculous how much.
I'm pretty sure you got to sign over your firstborn to get one of those now.
Well, a firstborn, an internal organ of their choosing, and the deed to your home. And if you don't have a home, well, that sucks for you. So.
It's like, oh yeah, this is not mine. You goddamn right, it's not yours. Get out of the way.
Get the fuck out of here. I don't know what you're thinking.
No
Silly.
one's getting motherfucker here. Give me your money.
Oh,
My money.
You know what else that they could die on? I mean, if dying on UMD and on the Vita is something to be noteworthy of, they should die on mini disc because that went over well.
Why is it all Sony? Why is it all fucking Sony media formats?
Because
Well,
they go so
you're
far out
noticing
of
a
their
pattern
way.
here.
Because they're just like, yeah, well, everybody's gonna buy our shit. Only our shit is seriously fucking awesome. Seriously.
I want them to die on iPod because it's just iPod sucks.
Well, then everyone can watch them die.
Oh god.
It could be called "I Die."
I
Oh,
die.
look at that!
Oh
Now
man,
your
that's right
life
up.
is complete.
All that wordplay and everything. Oh
I
yeah,
know that
it's a
was
pun
great.
frenzy.
I know. Going back to dealing with, I forget if we talked about it or not. No, we shouldn't say things about retarded people, should we?
Mm,
I talk about retarded people every fucking day,
uh,
so that's fine.
I'm not talking about the people that play Call of Duty. I mean,
Oh,
honest to goodness, bona fide people with as they say, the mentally handicapped. You're familiar with them.
yeah, that's the politically correct way of saying it.
I guess that's one way you could put it. As a wise man once said, you never go full retard. But one thing I have to say is, you ever deal with somebody who's like all about their iPhone,
Yeah,
or all about Apple products?
yeah.
Don't you talk to them like in that real soft, almost apologetic tone, like you would to a person who is not all there? Just kind of like, oh, that's good.
Oh,
Oh, but it's
I usually just look at them like, so you're really proud that you have that. That's cool and everything, but you know that the only reason that you're talking it up the entire time is because you just want to look cool. Because having an Apple product makes you cool and hip and means that you obviously are ahead of the curve and have a lot of money.
is
Except
that is
for
that what it means?
apparently, because I mean, every 3 months you go and you drop like $300 or $400, and you get the next one in line with the bigger digit, and there you go. Whereas me, I think that I'll just build an overpowered PC and upgrade it every couple of years, and it'll always be superior.
And you'll
Womp
still have
womp
spent
womp.
half the amount of money that you would on a Mac.
Yeah, pretty much. But you can't say something like that. They'll tell you like, it has an aluminum case, but like that's cool. Mine's made of steel and glass. Rar.
Yeah, it's just
and it sounds like
it's
it's
just
gonna take
amazing.
off.
See, the thing is, like, the eye products, they're all nice in what they do, but at the end of the day, I feel that a lot of people end up just buying them to go and brag. Like, you know how many people are like, "Yeah, I just got an iPad," and it's like, that's cool. They're like, "Yeah, I got a MacBook," but nobody's just like, "Yeah, I got a such and such random product." They don't go and brag that way. This is just about
Yeah,
name recognition. It's like a designer label that everybody wants to be like, look what I have.
I know.
Isn't that cool? I don't buy this because it actually does all the things I really wanted to, and it's a versatile product. It's because it has that little logo. Neat.
I know. I wonder if these are the same. Do these same people run into rooms all excited, like, "Dude, check it out! Just bought a Hyundai Elantra
I'd face palm.
or a Kia Sorento." It's like, all right, cool, whatever. No, it's fuel efficient. All right, cool, dude, whatever.
That's like buying a fucking Prius, for God's sake.
No, Prius, no, no, Prius. See, Apple products assume that you smell your own farts. Prius assumes that you can actually fit your entire head into your intestinal tract. Mind you, these are just implications. And if you drive a Toyota Prius, or as they call it in Great Britain, the Toyota Prius, fuck yourself.
No, we call them the God. Why?
I know.
And then we've got this other little car that's out over here called the G Whiz, and it's just basically a very cheap electric car.
Oh.
And when I say very cheap, it's cheaply made. It looks cheap. It handles cheap, and it looks like
It sounds cheap.
It looks like you could pick it up and put it in your pocket.
Yeah, it's so cheap they couldn't even afford to give it a name.
Yeah, they call it the G Whiz. Oh,
What's
leave
that?
it to
Gee whiz,
Jiminy Jillikers.
Jiminy Jillikers. You better, hey, somebody gonna sue somebody.
That's okay.
Anyway,
Only if there's rounded edges.
only if there is rounded edges. But anyway, it's time for us to call it a night. So we thank you guys for joining us right here on the Hate Bit Minicast. We're sorry that some friends couldn't be with us, but hopefully they'll be with us next time. Otherwise, they're fired. Anyway, from myself, Yell Chaos, Alpha Omega Sin, and the Sainted Magnus, we thank you for stopping by. We really do. And we'd also like to remind you that next week will be our season finale of season number 2. So be there, be square. And what else? Oh, got a special guest next week to wrap up the season. We're not going to tell you who, but it's going to be a...
Hate Bit Podcast.